if you're angry, oh, do you need a hug?
Right,
somebody
right,
need
right.
a hug. It's like saying, do you need a snack?
Mm-hmm.
For me and you, we'd be like, yes,
Yes.
please. Yes, I do need a hug and a snack.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
hangry. He's hangry.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I do
Yes,
need a hug
indeed.
and a snack.
Welcome, family, to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you to take this bits of information that we give out and immediately apply it to your life. We want you to be successful. We love success. Even when you fail, you can be successful if you apply the information, okay? Because sometimes we need to fail to get closer to where we need to be successful. The ground rules for our podcast is always the same. It's never changed. It's always going to be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we'll be talking about on the Bacon Bits Podcast is dealing with my favorite subject of all times, the balanced life. And I need to hear y'all say it. Say valuable out loud. Say it out loud. You're in the car, you in your office. I want them to think that you're a little bit, touched. Say this out loud. Say valuable.
Valuable.
Information.
Information.
Applied.
Applied.
Equals success.
Equals success.
Yes, indeed. That's my queen. That's my baby. That's the love. That's my Diana Acosta-Bacon. My love. How are you?
Hey, babe. I'm good. We're talking about my second love language today.
Yeah, girl. I need your touch. Coming on. Yeah, y'all know how I am. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. Physical touch. The fifth love language.
This is the last of the love languages. We've already covered all of the love languages. We've already talked about words of affirmation.
Yes.
Acts of service. Receiving gifts.
Oh yeah.
Quality time.
No doubt.
And now we're going to be talking about physical touch.
Yes.
And don't get excited because this does not mean, as my sweet sister would say, boinking. It's not all about boinking. So, physical touch is you feel the most loved when you're in contact with your partner.
Yes.
And not just your partner, but
my
this goes to like hugging your kids. Hug your kids.
Yes.
I don't know. Physical touch goes so much farther than so much of us realize.
Yeah.
They have studies upon studies where they even have children in orphanages who they don't pick up and carry and nurture,
Right.
versus the ones who same age children who are cared for and physically they're being touched and hugged and nurtured, and the ones who haven't been touched die.
Yeah.
They will literally die.
Yes.
It's just physical touch. The energy of it extends far beyond just the actual act of it.
Yeah.
And people who have the love language of physical touch thrive on the sensation of being held and hugged and kissed. And this is not about all sexual, like leading to sex.
Right.
Every physical touch is not about or shouldn't be leading to sex.
Yes. Because I be wanting to, every time I see my babies, and they all, 30s, 20s, high teens, I just want to hold them when I first see them. I be almost wanting to count. Like, y'all can't let me go for 15 seconds. I just love hugging on the babies. I just love it. That is so huge for me. And I'm a touchy-feely type of dude anyway. So when I'm at work, it's hard for me not to high five, hug, do all that stuff with everybody that I'm around. So, without me acknowledging it being one of my closest number twos, acts of service is set first.
Yeah,
Yes,
this is definitely your
touch.
number two.
Yes,
this is definitely both of our number twos.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Your first one is acts of service for sure, and then physical touch, and mine
Quality time
and physical touch. So our twos are the same, physical touch. So we thrive on that, but it can be as simple as holding someone's hand. Like I love someone who wants to hold my hand.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. I will hold your hand.
Yeah.
I do that at work all the time. I love holding residents' hands. I just like to hold their hands and just hold their arm and let them, rub their back. And it's something that's simple. My grandkids are like that. My daughter is physical touch, and whether or not she knows it, but she loves her back rub. My grandkids love their back rubbed. You have to express your love.
Yes.
Hugs. If your partner is upset, they're often so reassured and comforted by, just give them a hug. Listening sometimes isn't enough.
Right.
Maybe quality time isn't their love language, and you can listen to them being upset or being, venting, and sometimes it helps a little bit to add a physical touch. It's hard for most people who, when someone is weeping in front of them and they're hurt, you don't want to pick them up and embrace them. It's like most of us, for most people, it's a natural instinct to want to embrace and hold somebody, just like a baby when they're crying, or a toddler. You want to pick them up and console them and nurture them. Physical touch is so important for the development of the brain and for our human development, and to have physical touch. And we have to really focus, as we speak about physical touch, we have to focus on the non-sexual touches.
Yeah. People don't get enough hugs, and people don't get enough laughter, I believe in my heart. I believe, too, one of the greatest things you can do for your physical health is to just have gut-wrenching laughter and just almost uncontrollably. And we don't have that all the time. But man, it's when you having that moment and you just feel like you're laughing out of control, just let the laughter go. Just let it go. And then to just hold somebody, touch them, high fives, fist bumps, all that stuff. It is really important for people to have those touching moments.
Hugs are so important.
Yeah.
And I love, people who know me well know I hold my hugs for at least 10 seconds because it's proven that it will lower your cortisol levels and lower your stress levels, and it slows down your heartbeat. I love hugging on both sides. Don't leave me lopsided and hug me on one side with my one head on one side. Hug me on both sides. I love to connect heart to heart when we hug. Physical touches are so important, but remembering people whose love language is physical touch, it's about affection. It's not about sex.
Yes.
It's about affection, showing affection. So whether it be your child, whether it be a friend, gosh, it's like so natural impulse for us to put our arm around people that we care about, or that we want to support or encourage, right? Yeah. But some of the things that we have to watch out for, it's a really easy language to communicate in. Physical touch is such an easy language, and like to just hold somebody's arm, hold somebody's hand, right? Yeah. But something we have to make sure, physical touch, people need loving touches, a loving caress, a loving kiss and hugs regularly, in order to feel valued and to feel happy. So don't neglect them when you initiate physical touch or touch those that speak this language, because when you neglect them, they feel unloved. If you just refrain, like you completely like shut down people who talk. Same thing with like words of affirmation. When you just stop talking to them, right. Like it's the same thing. You just completely separate from them. Or people, this is really harmful for people whose love language is physical touch when they're physically abused. Yeah. When they're physically abused, this is such a serious one. And it's never okay to harm someone, obviously, whether it be sexually or physically violating them. But particularly people whose love language is physical touch, it's so tough.
Yeah, it's a combination.
When they have been physically abused, and people want to cause them harm physically. Yeah. Obviously, not reciprocating in the moment is necessary sometimes based on circumstances. Like maybe you guys are arguing and that's not the time when you just want to hug them and be like, here, let me feel like you feel loved. Like that's not going to make them feel loved.
Right.
But the reason simply needs to be effectively communicated. Otherwise, they may take it real personally. Be like, can I hug you? Do you need a hug? And, don't be, what's that word? Facetious about stuff. I don't know if that's the right word for what I'm trying to think. Like if you're angry, do you need a hug? Somebody need a hug. It's like saying, do you need a snack? For me and you, we'd be like, yes, please. Yes, I do need a hug and a snack.
Yeah, he's hangry. He's hangry.
Yes, yes, I do need a hug and a snack.
That's
but sometimes the person, and the conversation you've had might not be a place to like joke about it.
Right.
But it should ideally have a relationship where you can honestly just say, yes, I do actually, and not be made to feel like you're an idiot for needing that, for expressing that you need a hug and you need a snack, and you feel very unloved. It's okay to express that, and it should be a safe place, ideally.
And I think it's just so beautiful when you understand that, man. I mean, do you know what your love language is? You know, have you ever really thought back about, like, man, when these things are happening to me, this really speaks volumes to me. And I think, you know, the physical touch is just as huge, you know, because I might need that extra 2-3 second longer hug. I need, you know, touch heart to heart. I need to just feel that love and make the person that you're with feel love. You know, you don't want to obviously cross the boundaries, but also, man, there's, you know, in this season of it, should I give the person a handshake, a fist bump? Can I give them a hug? You know, you just go through so many ways of trying to communicate, you know, and you just, you know, constantly watch that person to see, is this what they need? You know, because some people aren't, you know, touchy-feely, you know, so you do just want to just make sure that you're not crossing the boundaries. But for those, you know, you can just see it, that they need that little extra hug. You know, they need that moment of, you know, embracing. They just need that moment of, you know, contact. You just what you want to give it to them so they can get that love tank filled, you know, by someone else outside of themselves.
And it's okay to ask. It's okay to be like, I'm a hugger. Do you mind if I hug you? And people will say, if they be like, then be like, a handshake's cool.
Right,
but it feels almost awkward when you meet someone and be like, nice to meet you, without a handshake, doesn't it?
Right,
just feels so, maybe at our age, maybe it's our generation, but it feels awkward to not shake someone's hand when you see them, or to see a friend who you haven't seen in a while and not hug them. It just feels so strange. Maybe it's just me, but it feels weird. And maybe for the people who don't want hugs and who are very COVID minded are like, stay away from me with a 10-foot pole and don't touch me. Yeah. But again, you kind of can, you know, feel the room, brothers and sisters. Feel the energy. You can feel the energy. You can kind of know and feel the people's vibe when they are like, don't touch me. You know, they step back if you step forward. It's just one of those, feel the vibe. Feel the vibe.
And it was kind of cool when we used to be, because Rising Star is our home church here in Tucson, Arizona. And one of the things I used to love what Pastor Lewis would say, everybody needs
3 things:
a look, a word, and a touch. And I'm like, you ain't even lying, you know. So we used to go around, and I think for like 10 minutes our church would just go around and everybody
it felt like 10 minutes. It was really 3.
It was 3, but it seemed like, because you hug as many people as you can while the one song was playing, you know. And if you didn't get your love tank filled off of that, I don't know what, you know, what could happen even differently, because it was important for us to all get that hug and that touch it.
And, you know, and sometimes people are across the room, and some of us, talking about myself, would run across the room, but some people just would, you know, you put your arm up and you point at them, but you see them, you have eye contact. It's still contact. You're connecting to them. So connect with them. And then when, you know, we all do like the air hugs, and that's good. The point is, take some effort. Again, imagine if somebody like a child fell, or a toddler, or even a young grade school child, you wouldn't just look at them when they're crying. You wouldn't just look at you would run over and want to at least help them up, or you want to embrace them. And if you see an elderly person crossing the street or about to trip over, you naturally would go grab them by the arm, or I mean, this for most people. I mean, if you're psychotic, maybe not. But, you know, for most people, you have to physically touch them in order to help them. And that's just the way we communicate as a human race. That we show our kindness and affection and our concern for others is physical touch. Touching someone's shoulder. As a death doula, I'm a death doula, and I know when I go in to see a client, or when I go and spend time with the people at their bedside, I touch their arm, I touch their shoulder, I hold their hand, I put lotion in their hand. It's something so simple. It's a physical touch, but it calms them down. It lowers their cortisol level. It brings their when they're feeling aggressive or when they're feeling agitated, it calms everything down to just hold them and sit down with them. Putting your arm around someone, even at the end stages of life, it still completely changes the way that they're in the process of dying. It calms everything down, and it helps the families around know that it's okay to touch them. It's okay. Don't question it. If your instincts are to reach out and hold their hand, for whomever that is, trust your instincts. You can just touch them and touch their hand if it's a loved one, or maybe they're not a great friend of yours. Maybe you're just learning, you've just met them. But just be aware and trust your vibe. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but trust the energy. You can feel the energy of the person that you're with. We talked about all 5 love languages at this point. We've covered them all, and there's a couple takeaways I want to share. And even though our love languages can all be different than our partners, our friends, our kids, our loved ones, our family, but that isn't necessarily the problem unless you simply choose not to try.
Right.
Like, none of that is a problem that we have different love languages. Mm-hmm. Yours is acts of service. Doesn't mean I'm not going to put in my head, oh, that means I'm going to be your slave. No, that means that I know if I love making dinner, I love cooking, I love seeing your face when you eat the food.
Yes, I love eating it too.
That's acts of service. I do laundry. Laundry has to get done. That's acts of service. Things that we already are doing. Mm-hmm. But then there's things that you do for me that are acts of service. It's not my love language, but I really appreciate you putting gas in the car so I don't have to.
Right.
I don't have to get out and deal with that. Mm-hmm. There's things that you take out the trash so I don't have to. Those are acts of service that maybe we're already doing and we don't realize we're doing it.
Right.
Physical touch is one of the easiest. We already embracing our children. We're already embracing each other. Words of affirmation. When you see something, when they're not expecting you to see something good. Hey, thanks for doing that. Yeah. You're so smart. Stop just telling your kids they're handsome and beautiful. Tell them how smart they are. Tell them how wise they are. Mm-hmm. Tell them how creative they are. There's so many ways to express all of these love languages.
Well, I think that's a huge one for me because, like, working at the rehab, I love talking about, if you was thinking it already. So when you see it and you was thinking it, I just need you to go to that next step and just say it out loud. Like, man, I really appreciate the meal you guys cook for me. Thank you for washing my clothes. I really appreciate that. Thank you for cleaning my room. Thank you for getting those supplies for me when I asked you. You was already thinking it. You was already super grateful, in your heart and your mind, but you just didn't get to the point where you verbally said it out loud. It's those little things like that might mean so little to you, but for the person that did those things for you and you said it out loud, it means the world to that person. So please go to that next level. You was thinking it. You was already believing it. Like, man, thank you so much for what you did. I just need you to get to the point where you say verbally out loud, out your mouth.
Yeah, and you know what? I love practicing all of these love languages every day. I know I was with my sister. We were out, and it was so funny because I love giving people compliments. If I look at a shirt and I'm like, oh, that orange shirt looks good on them. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't wear that shirt because I'd look like a tomato, but on them, like, that sweet. Shirt looks, you're rocking that shirt, brother. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just like, why are you hitting on people? I'm like, I'm not hitting on people. I'm letting them know they look good and giving them a dose of dopamine. I'm like, it costs me nothing.
Right.
And I feel good because guarantee that person's going to wear that shirt way more often now because someone said they look good and they feel good in it, and they're going to stand a little bit like an inch taller,
Right.
Just because somebody complimented them.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. Receiving gifts. We all go to the supermarket. We all go to the gas station. We all have to stop at a place to get food. Buy a chocolate bar somebody likes. Buying like a bottle of water because, someone needs hydration. Mm-hmm. Buying them a special purple potato because they know they like potato. Like, it's something so simple. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a lot of effort. When you walk down the aisles, I guarantee 99% of us walk down aisles and there's somebody, when you look at something, that it makes you think of that one person. It reminds you because, they love tacos.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to cost you $6 to grab a can of this or that and be like, hey, we're going to have taco night. Come over. Mm-hmm. Quality time. There you go. You got gifts. You got receiving gifts and you got quality time and acts of service all in one just by doing something like that. Yeah. Or you can buy like, oh, it was a really cool cake. There's receiving gifts. There's quality time. I'm going to have my friend come over. We're going to have some cake. There you go. It's all 3 gifts right there.
Yeah.
So there's so many different ways. It doesn't take a lot of thinking. It's only a problem when you choose not to try.
Yeah.
So we have to learn each other's love language. It takes initiative. It takes practice. And it takes open communication. And it creates a solid foundation so we can grow from that. Yeah. Again, always remember, It's great to make someone feel loved, but it's important to find gentle ways to ask them to do things that will make us feel loved also.
Yeah.
There is something I wanted to touch base, and I saw this video and I thought it was fantastic. This video, I think I saw it on TikTok, and it was so awesome. And this girl says, people's toxic traits tend to be the opposite of our love language. And I could not agree with her more, because quality time is my number one love language. Mm-hmm. And she said, if quality time is your love language, then you tend to isolate when you don't feel loved. I completely do that. If physical touch is your love language, you tend to avoid.
It's on point.
It's on point.
Yeah.
If she says if words of affirmation is your love language, you tend to go silent.
Yeah. Ooh.
And if acts of service is your love language, you simply don't ask for help.
Yeah. Or help people.
And if gift giving is your love language, then you go to impulsive shopping. She was on point with all of these.
Right.
These are people's toxic traits, which is the opposite of our love language.
Great insight for sure. So a great way to see the progress that you and the relationships that you are in are progressing is to start practicing these love languages now. And I guarantee you, I bank life that, man, by the end of the year, you will look back over your year and say, man, this was one of the most phenomenal years in my relationships of those I love around, because I was actually intentional about seeing what their love language was. And I actually did what they needed to have done for their love language and their love tank to get filled. Family, we are here to give you all the tools you need to have your absolute best life. And that's what we want you to have. The full roundness of totality of what life is all about. We love you guys. Thank you so much for your listening ear. Anytime, guys, you have heard an episode that you really love, please do me a favor. As a love language to me, make sure you share this. Make sure you like it. Go on the website and say how much one of these episodes have really blessed you. You can speak to us in volumes by doing those things. Sharing, liking, and giving other people some tools to help them live their best life. Guys, we love you. So much love you. Continue to do what it is that you're doing to make your life that much more better. God bless. All right, what's up, family? It's your boy John Bacon from the Bacon Bits Podcast. Thank you so much for your support, likes, and ratings. Please don't just listen, but rate me, follow me, and subscribe. This is an amazing way to offer free support. My beautiful queen and I have some books that we have written for your growth.
So the first book we have is a workbook, actually. It's called Healthy Relationships, and this is a workbook through the lens of faith. Because what makes a relationship healthy or unhealthy? So this workbook is a 12-week, it's a biblically grounded course, and every week has a few different principles. So some of our topics that we're covering are respect, cultivating security. And this is not just between a husband and wife. This is between parents, between siblings, between friends, between your bosses, employers. So it's really important, and everyone deserves a healthy relationship.
And also we have The Balanced Life by John Bacon. It covers how to be prosperous in your finances, relationships, your health, your mind, and your spirit. So you can pick that up on Amazon, also on audiobook. And we also have
The Unraveling, a creative healing journal, pinings, poems, prayers, and ponderings of my precarious life. I've had a testimony of, I've had 2 brain tumors and 2 brain surgeries, and I'm super grateful, but I'm still grieving the process of healing. And this is part of the process. In this book, you have devotionals, you have prayers, and you have some ponderings. And in between these pages, there's a space for you to also be prompted to paint and to create your own, or maybe you want to write something in these books. This is part of your creative healing journal that we get to walk through together.
And you guys can just head over to Kingdom Servants First. Kingdom Servants, the number 1, ST.com. And you can purchase all 3 of these books. Thank you for your support, your love, and your contributions. God bless.